On to the Xbox Live Party podcast. My name is Ash, and I'm joined as always by our lovely friends. We've got Alucard, we've got Slayer Exclusive, we've got the Ginner Gaming, and we have got KY Bob, who isn't showing on the screen at the moment because I've cut him out. So I apologise, Bob.
Shuffle closer to your monitor, Bob. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. Thank you for listening. We are up to episode 22, I believe. Fabio isn't with us today. He's having a party or something for his girlfriend. It's a birthday, so happy birthday to Fabio's girlfriend. It's no excuse for missing the podcast, is it, lads? Not at all.
Peppa Pig World, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at Peppa Pig World with his girlfriend. He's travelled all the way from Brazil to go to Britain's favourite destination. But yeah, we've got quite a lot to talk about. We weren't here last week, but to be fair, just this week alone, we've had 10 ton of gaming news and bombshells drop and stuff like that. So we're going to jump straight into that once we've talked about what we've been playing this week. And we've also got a giveaway today. We're going to be giving a copy of Castle of No Escape 2 away later in the show. So one of the lucky people in the chat will be able to claim that. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what have you guys been playing this week? We'll start with you, Ginner. What have you been playing?
So I've jumped into Doom Eternal. I jumped on to do a quick 10-minute review. I thought I'd recap the game, and it turned out it is amazing. So I've just been spending all my time blasting through that since it's had its update. That's about it, really. I think I haven't been on gaming a lot. I've played a bit of Enlisted and Second Extinction as well when I get a bit of spare time because they're great. But yeah, mostly shooters for me. It's been quite a boring week for the Ginner.
What about you, Slayer, then? What have you been playing?
Oh, it's been actually kind of busy for me. Definitely been playing Sea of Thieves, as I'm sure a lot of people have because of that Pirates of the Caribbean update. I actually played a little bit of Stardew Valley because I learned that, and I wasn't even aware of this because I don't remember getting it announced. I remember it was coming at one point, but Stardew Valley got its co-op update. I remember it was on the Switch for a while and the PC, but I was like, where? I was waiting for it to come to Xbox, and now I learned that it's there, so tried that out. Pretty fun. Tried out Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. Pretty fun game if you have friends to play with. We played through that a little bit together as a podcast, but then I played a little bit more of it with my friends. And then just been playing a little bit of Biomutant, trying to finish that game off finally. And actually, for the first time yesterday, I'm not a fan of horror games, as you guys probably already know, but I played Phasmophobia for the first time yesterday, last night. It was, it was like 12 a.m. and my friends were like, let's try this game out. Had headphones on, the volume coming from the headphones, and just hunting some ghosts, and it was scary some parts, but also a very, very hilarious time because just, the game is a little glitchy, and I'm not sure if that's on purpose, but it looks funny when like I remember when my friend got choked out by one of the ghosts, and I was looking at the camera in the van because you start off in the van and then you have to like go into the house and you have to basically like you have all kinds of gadgets and stuff to detect the ghost. And then I was looking through the camera in the van, and then my friend got choked out by the ghost, and then his head, like his body went crazy, and it just went into the wall, and his head was like inside the wall, and it was just hanging there. So we went into the house, we saw his body just like dangling from the wall. It was funny game. Yeah, I streamed all that yesterday. It was really fun.
Nice.
That's pretty much it.
What about you, Alucard? What you've been playing this week?
I've been jumping around. Like I've been playing some Call of Duty. Like I haven't played Call of Duty for years, and then I was like, "Well, this is actually really cool. The zombie mode is awesome because it's Black Ops Cold War." And then I also bought Modern Warfare because I wanted to play. I actually bought them for the campaigns more than anything. But and then I started playing Need for Speed Heat, and that's a really cool game. Because if you go at night, the cops chase you.
Is that the
during
newer
the day
one?
they don't.
The one that's got
Yeah.
the pinky purple cover.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've played I played like when it had like a 10-hour demo, like a trial. I
Mhm.
tried that, but I haven't played it since it's been added to EA Play and Game Pass now. So
Yeah, it's intense when the cops, because they try to run you off the road, and you have to survive because your car can be destroyed, and then you also can get arrested. But I was playing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go, because if you could choose to go at night, and sometimes you have to, but if you go at night, you get like more rewards, like street cred and stuff like that, and more money sometimes, and you could see the cops on the map, and so you can try to avoid them, or you can engage. But I'm seeing these cops, and I go past them, and they don't chase me, and I'm like, what is? So I don't know if the game's broken, but they're supposed to be chasing me, and they're not. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they don't always chase you, but I thought they always did at night.
wow.
So I don't know. I might have a broken game,
You're
which is
too fat
disappointing.
for them, Alucard. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
I even I purposely ran into a cop, and he just sat there. I was like, what? So I don't know, man. But I don't know. I'm just trying to get through my backlog. I was pretty determined. I'm doing a pretty good job, though, I think. So
That's all that matters,
But
mate.
I'm
That's all that matters.
yeah, but I'm still like buying games, still for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, that's it for me.
Nice. And before we get on to you, Bob, we know English people are probably watching the football right now. England are already 1-0 up after 4 minutes, so woohoo. I wasn't expecting 4 minutes to be 1-0 up, so I'll let anyone know if we keep winning. But yeah, what have you been playing, Bob, this week then?
Well, Treasure Hunter Simulator, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, and it would be great if I could play with people. But every time I join somebody's game, I get like sometimes I make it to the portal to go to the level, and sometimes I get disconnected before I even make it there. And if I do make it there, I get disconnected like 3 seconds after we land on the level. So, but I'm enjoying it. At least it has a nice solo mode.
Is it are you getting, does it say, because I got kicked out and it says I was like thrown out of the game or something like that? Is that different?
Yeah, I'm just getting disconnected from friends. I don't
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
The issue
Been
you're
playing.
having is what I had with Outriders for months and months, and I just gave up and played a solo in the end. But I know you never had an issue, did you?
No, not with Outriders.
We played
So lucky.
co-op. We played co-op and we had no problems really.
No, thankfully.
Been playing Chivalry 2. Getting medieval on some asses and cracking skulls with the with the end of my sword that you're not supposed to hit them with. That's a good move.
Yeah, that game looks brutal, like violent.
It is very brutal. Downloaded Green Hell. It looked very interesting. I'm into those survival games.
I got that too. Yeah.
I haven't played it yet. Played Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 Guardians with the Fun Speculation crew last night. The Xbox Ultimate Podcast after show party.
Nice.
And bought the premium deluxe edition of Flight Simulator, and I'm just waiting.
The countdown begins.
Yes. Wish I had more to say, but I was gone all week. I was in Virginia. Work flew me out there to look at some new machines that we're bringing in. So I was in Virginia for 4 days, and Xcloud did not want to cooperate. So.
I can't get Xcloud to work if I'm not on a Wi-Fi connection. I can't get it to work on a mobile connection. Well, I can play, but it's rubbish. But on a Wi-Fi connection, it's pretty good. But then it defies the point, in my opinion, most of the time. Do you know what I mean? So, I even took a pad and that to work to use on my dinner one day, and I just couldn't get anything. And I was just sat there like a tit with my fucking pad, waiting. It was just loading. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Vodafone for you. UK people will know that's why I get no signal. I'm on Vodafone.
I've got Wi-Fi in work, which is meant to be for work only, and nobody knows the password. But I've got the password and I'm connected. So I hope nobody from work watches this. But my phone is connected to the Wi-Fi, and I can use Xcloud, and it works pretty well.
What are you on about? Everyone in your work listens. We're like #1 podcast for your work.
Yeah, I'm hoping nobody sees it. Yeah.
I'm really. I tell you what, though. Here lately, into kind of a genre of game that I'd never thought I would really like the solo survival game. You know, it's kind of like the television show Naked and Afraid. So, like between Open Country and Green Hell and Treasure Hunter Simulator, where it's just, you ain't got to worry about nobody stealing your shit when you're not around your camp or anything like that. It's actually I find it a lot of fun and in a way peaceful. So I can't wait to fly across the world. That'll be even better in a plane by myself.
What do you mean? We're all going for a jaunt together. We're all going off on a little expedition to each other's houses.
So I looked into that. So you can either basically taxi around in circles while you're giving everybody else your location, or you can just send them a group invite, and I think they show up right there in your airspace.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Hopefully,
yeah, that'd be neat.
We'll have to try it. We'll have to get you in this time, Bob, because you always seem to miss when we manage to have a group game session. You always seem to miss it.
Well, we got a lot of land, and when it's like when the sun goes down, then I come in and game. But when the sun goes down for me, you guys are asleep.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything else, or was that it for your gaming then this week? He's gone. He's died.
He's gone to do more gaming.
That's it, yeah. I'll jump in. I don't know where he's gone. I haven't played a huge amount this week. I mean, I've been playing the Sea of Thieves Tall Tales. Me and Fabio have got through to number 4 now. And 3 and 4 definitely start to amp it up a bit more, bringing back a lot more from the sort of old movies. This I have found, though, I don't know if you guys have noticed, it seems that it only focuses on the first 3. It seems to ignore the later movies and the canon of the later movies. So, like, Davy Jones is in it and stuff like that, but they make no mention of Will taking over from Davy Jones. There's no Blackbeard or the other ghost pirate man, I can't remember, from the last film. So it's really odd because it like harkens back to the first couple of films and then doesn't mention the others. So it's a weird sort of continuity thing that's thrown me off a little bit. I'm not fussed because the last Pirates film is dog, but at least give us something from it. Do you know what I mean? But I've been really enjoying that. As I said in the pre-stuff with you guys, if you don't like platforming in first person, you probably aren't going to get on with some of these Tall Tales. There is way, way too much platforming for some people's like. And it just gets more and more. I mean, I like it. There's puzzles and stuff like that that you have to complete, which I thought was a nice addition to sort of just like attacking enemies all the time in waves. And that was really cool. But there is a lot of platforming, and if you're not into that and you don't particularly like how the Sea of Thieves controls precisely like the characters and stuff, you may struggle with that a little bit. But other than that, this week I haven't played a huge amount. I played that Space Jam game, so Space Jam: A New Legacy, which is free for Game Pass Ultimate subscribers as a perk until July the 15th, and then it comes out for everyone for free. Yeah, it's quite good. It takes about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to finish, a quick playthrough. It's a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, kind of like Streets of Rage, but with basketballs and bunnies. But for free. I highly recommend people give it a play. The problem I found is a lot of the achievements are for co-op. There's a lot of co-op stuff. So I don't know if it's got online play. I think it's co-op, like split screen only, like local, which isn't the best time for it right now with the world. But hey, it's a free game. I'm sure we'll play it more in the future. And then my main game I've been playing, I finished it today. I've been playing Mafia Definitive Edition, and I finally got through the story today. I've been doing sort of like a couple of chapters a night when I get a chance to play it, and I finally finished it, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of the best games I've played in ages, and the ending and the story had me hooked all the way through, and it never got boring.
It did.
And I kind of knew how it was going to end, but I didn't expect how it was going to end when it happened at the end, and I was like, damn. So I've just got to mop up the collectibles now. I'm going to do that in the free play mode, mop up the collectibles that I'm missing, and then I'm going to move on to Mafia 2 because I've got the trilogy box set. So
I will tell you this: I don't agree with the remake or the remaster of the first one. Was spectacular. I mean, it's beautiful. It plays very well. It's very well updated, but I don't like how they handed that IP to 3 different studios to do 1, 2, and 3. And 1 was done beautifully, and 2 and 3 were just kind of, I mean, as far as a remaster standpoint, it's rubbish.
Yeah, from what I can gather, they've just upscaled them. They haven't really done anything new. Whereas number 1, they did they recast it and everything. Like there's more,
everything.
All the characters are new people because they've face scanned them, so they've got people to do the face scans. Because Damien Clark is the detective you're talking to, and for like about 3 hours I was playing. I'm like, he looks like someone, and I've met Damien Clark, and I was like, he looks like someone I know. And it didn't click for a while. Then I was like, oh, it's Damien Clark. And then, but the people give such good acts. I like the performances are fantastic in it. The atmosphere, the graphics look amazing. I mean, if you're into GTA, you may get a kick out of it. It's a lot slower paced than GTA, and a lot more. You going for headshots most of the time. You're not just sort of running and gunning.
Yeah.
You don't have enough ammo for that. And the car mechanics are a bit slower and stuff, obviously, because you're in 1930s and 40s, if that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to playing the second one. I've started the second one before, but originally on the 360. Was it the 360 it came out? But I've never got to the end of it, so I'm not expecting it to be as good as 1, but I'm looking forward to playing it definitely. Like I say, so if anyone gets a chance to play it, honestly, if you like sort of open world ish, because it's a lot more linear than GTA. I mean, the story mode, you can literally just go from point to point, but there is a free roam mode and stuff like that with extra missions and stuff as well. But if you like that sort of gameplay, third person driving around and stuff, it's one of the best I've played in ages, and it's had me hooked for hours. So I'm really.
And like Ash said, I mean, the story, the acting, everything, it's top notch. It really, if you liked The Sopranos or any of the Al Capone movies or stuff like that, you will be thrilled with Mafia 1. It's great.
And it plays a lot better than the Godfather game does, because I've played that through to the finish, and it's not anywhere near the level of Mafia. And other than for like a few little things I've played, the one I've played randomly I bought in a sale was Calico, which is the weirdest game in the world. You're basically like short, well-rounded girls or men or whoever, really. You can pick between them. I've got like a beard on mine and everything, and you own a cafe in this town, and you're basically collecting cats and stuff. And I'm running around with a cat on my head. I'm riding a giant cat because why not? And it's a weird little indie game, and it's like a cafe simulator mixed with you go around helping people doing missions. And I picked it up on sale last week on a whim, thinking, yeah, why not? It looks funny, and it's all right. Yeah, it plays all right. Going around like chasing after birds and stuff, like crows, trying to make them grow so you can ride them and stuff, and then like chasing down like wolf cubs just because you want a giant one to ride on and stuff, and then wearing one as a hat. It's unexplainably weird, but it's worth at least playing if you're into those sort of weird indie games. So that's all I can say on that. I need to put a video up at some point of it. But yeah, I haven't played a lot this week. It's been very few and far between, and mainly Sea of Thieves. So we'll jump into the news. So we'll jump straight in with the first thing. We'll get it off out there. Sony has announced 2 new studio acquisitions and possibly leaked a third one. Anyone want to? Has anyone got the proper press releases up at all?
I'm
Go-
sure it has.
I have the house marquee. Welcome to the family from the PlayStation blog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says, "Welcome house marquee to the PlayStation studio family." But the Blue Point, I thought that one wasn't confirmed though.
No. So
No.
they announced House Marquee is now becoming part of PlayStation Studios, and if anyone is not listening, they made Returnal and some other games, and they've been predominantly a PlayStation only sort of exclusive developer for about 10 years now. I'd say 10 years plus since they brought a game out on Xbox. So it was kind of expected. But Sony Japan supposedly, I mean, I didn't see the original tweet, but supposedly Sony Japan posted a tweet out with the Blue Point logo on instead of the house marquee very quickly and then deleted it. So the rumor is they've also acquired Blue Point, but they're dragging out the announcements basically. But it's great for house marquee. I mean, everyone has their say on the Returnal, and there seems to be a lot of people that like it, and it'd be good to see how they do with an actual budget and not having to worry about stuff, compared to being an indie studio, like a self-publishing sort of studio. Do you know what I mean? So that's great. I mean, it's always good when there's sort of acquisitions of these scale, because it means these teams can sort of grow more. And then the next one they announced was a PC-centric studio, if anyone remembers the name.
Nixes,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So
Nixes, yeah.
they develop PC ports. They don't natively make their own games, so they did the PC ports for the newer Tomb Raider games and stuff like that. And the way the press release was worded really seems like they're just going to be making PlayStation PC ports, which kind of is a great thing, because I mean it takes off all the stress off the main studios to keep making the great games they do, and then outsource those PC ports to someone else. But it also means there's going to be a lot more PC ports, whether Sony fans like that or not. That is the end game here. Or is it just how I'm reading it?
No, it looks like it's going to be more games going to PC, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, when you bring on a developer that's their job is to port PC games, that's a big signal. I mean, why else would they buy them? You know, that means that they're headed towards a major release, probably soon. So
yeah, they were some weird purchases. I guess why they bought House Marquee, their game came out, it did well, and it's not like they're buying a new studio to get new exclusives. They're kind of just solidifying their position. They only made PlayStation games really anyway, so they're stopping somebody else from getting them. Yeah. And then Blue Point was kind of leaked, but then they updated I'm not sure if you saw this, they updated their Twitter status after it was to show was it self-funded, purely independent or something like that, to just show
fully
really.
It was fully independent, fully funded studio, and that's they're pretty pissed. That sounds like to me that they're mad.
Yeah.
When you say that, and you're basically they're pushing that in your face, like, hey, no, we have not been purchased. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But
I think they will eventually. It's a good fit, aren't they?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean,
it's no loss to anyone else though, because they're not making games for anyone else as well. So
no. I mean, Returnal, they said House Marquee they said it's 26 years in the making. They've been making games since PlayStation 3. So it's they have that relationship. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it is funny though, literally the day before, the day after this came out, they literally said, we're not in a studio buying race with Microsoft. And then they're like, here's a studio,
I
here's a
know.
studio, here's possibly another studio. It's yet again mixed messaging from everyone at PlayStation though. I mean, I have
know,
no issue with the studio
jeez.
acquisitions. I'm honestly surprised they haven't purchased Bluepoint yet. It just seems like obvious. I would have thought
Yeah.
Bluepoint over House Marquee. And honestly, this little studio they've bought through the ports, it's not a big player. It's not like a Microsoft Bethesda purchase, but it clearly puts into perspective where PlayStation are looking. They're going to PC next, and they've got someone to do that in-house now instead of having to outsource it. So it kind of makes a lot of sense there. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, but to your point, like that's exactly it. Like we all know that PlayStation just doesn't have those resources to do a big purchase like that, like Bethesda, with Microsoft. Like they don't, and they came out publicly and said that, like it's just not in their, it's not in their repertoire. So,
but they also came
see
out
what
and said they believe in generations and everything else. It's just shit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not. Yeah, it's a miscommunication on their part, but
they know how
it's-
to what do you call it? Like manipulate or like just twist things, and then do
Yeah.
something else. Like they know how to talk to the media. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say that that's they know how to do that?
I don't know. Like I just like they. It's like they act like they're not gonna like be the same, and then they actually are. So
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, it's good to see though. I mean, there's been a lot of shit on social media and stuff from people complaining and trying to argue over it, and I've seen people being like, "House Marquee better than Bethesda," and everyone crapping on House Marquee and that
Are you
saying,
serious?
"Yeah, honestly, from both.
Jesus.
This is from both sides though. PlayStation fans have been saying it's like the second coming of Christ. It's going to blow everything out of the water, and then like certain people we know who they are have been saying like, well, Bethesda are rubbish, Microsoft have never done no, and then Xbox fans have been like, well, it's only House Marquee and stuff like that, and they're just sort of flinging shit back and forth at each other. But it's great. It's great for PlayStation. It means though, and it's great for those developers because it means they're now secure. It means they can just crack on with stuff what they're doing. Like I say, Returnal would have probably been a much better game if it had more money and time and resources put into it. It and more like bug testing and stuff like that. So it can only be a good thing. I mean, they're not like the best company in the world. They're not going to make the best game ever, but what they do make is solid enough for what people want, and it gives them that opportunity to obviously expand on that and make it better and stuff in future. So people need to stop sort of dunking on it, I think.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they're going to do next, because this game was... The other ones, like I've seen from them, were kind of like side-scrolling arcade shooter type games.
Yeah, they were known for
almost
shmups.
like that, but in a 3D world with rogue elements. They kind of just mixed new stuff in, and it seemed to work. On what people have said, so
I can't believe
see
that
what they
game
try.
was that game rated higher than Spider-Man. Like, I think it was.
I've
Which
no
is-
idea.
or just as high, which is like I don't get that at all. But
But what makes me chuckle is Sony got rid of Japan Studio, basically destroyed it to then do this, and it just baffles me because Japan Studio was good.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I mean, we can all agree that they've been making some strange decisions as of late.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
I think they're starting to go into long-term planning, like Microsoft already are. It does look like Sony are starting to go more into the sort of let's look into the distant future now instead of the right now, right here. And I feel like Sony for the half of this generation will probably be focusing fully on the sort of paid, the paid
upgrades.
sort of exclusives and stuff like that, and that's how they'll do it. Instead of buying them, they'll just pay for them, and then they'll, as they say, develop them. They'll give these new studios they're buying time to come out, and at the end of the generation, they'll have that backlog of sort of exclusives that they've now built up, which is what we're waiting Xbox to finally do after all this time. Do you know what I mean? They'll have that now coming in at the end of the gen instead of at the beginning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they've invested in like Jade Redmond's new studio, the one from the Call of Duty developers. They basically now invest in multiplayer games because that's something they've always missed.
Yeah.
I think they're seeing how successful like Sea of Thieves, Destiny, Outriders, and the amount of money these games make. They're probably thinking single player games make loads of money. They're buying remasters.
A piece of that pie.
I'm sure
that pie. That ongoing revenue.
What's that zombie game called? Days Gone. Their developer's making a multiplayer game now. That came out the other day. They said there's high chance it's going to have multiplayer. So, yeah. Well, we'll move on to another sort of big news thing. So, obviously, we've had a good chuckle about the whole Kojima, Silent Hills, PlayStation exclusive, abandoned, blue box. I had a good rant about that. And I said I'd eat my heart if I was wrong. Well, it turns out after obviously they've done that, they've put a video out as well where the developers come out on video multiple times now and said, I am real, here I am, waving and stuff. We're not Silent Hills and stuff. But Konami have announced the other day that they have a partnership for a strategic cooperation agreement with Bloober Team for a game. So, and this will see them create games together. So all those rumours about Bloober making Silent Hill are starting to sound a bit more on the money then. Kojima's really in the Netherlands in Blue Box Studios, and orange is the opposite colour of blue.
Though.
Oh,
Even
yeah. Yeah, even after
crazy.
Even after Bloober Team's Konami announcement got made, people were in the comments on that original post saying, Kojima's still doing it for PlayStation. It's all good.
Yeah.
Orange is the opposite colour spectrum to blue, so clearly that means blue box when those oranges fell out of that box.
I saw a video where it went like deep into that whole conspiracy. Like it went through like that PSN profile of that guy and like the numbers and trophies, amount of trophies or whatever. It was crazy. It was insane. I was like, wow, this is like it's it seems very coincidental, but it's like how the hell it was just a lot. I was just like,
I mean, if you dig that much and in that broader spectrum, you'll find something that fits your narrative. It's like the 23 Enigma and the Law of 5s and 7 and stuff like that. It's all coincidence, but if you look in that broader spectrum, you'll find ways to link things.
The video also like referenced like a siren head kind of monster or whatever, and like how a different kind of Japanese creative director was like on a recent interview, and like and like apparently this PSN account was playing like this unreleased game, and like the box art for that unreleased game had like a siren head looking thing on it, and like how and it was just so crazy, and like how there was a Japanese developer that works with Kojima or wanted to work with Kojima, was on an interview, and he was talking about Siren Head, how he's interested in that mythology, that monster, and it was just like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah,
like they've converted you, to be honest, Slayer. I think you're on board, aren't you?
No, I'm just like, I was just listening to this, and I was just like, this is insane.
He's in that rabbit hole now.
I was like, it was crazy. Like, it's interesting, but like I don't really care.
There'll be a Netflix documentary on it soon.
Probably right.
The abandoned Silent Hills conspiracy, and they'll have all these nutters off of Twitter on it, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, aliens!"
Yeah,
and all that sort of stuff.
But
so
foil hats and everything.
What's that?
Bloober, they made Layers of Fear, Observer, Blair Witch.
Great game, Layers of Fear was
and
great.
Medium.
I played that recently.
And Medium.
We played that recently.
Yeah,
Medium.
Exactly. So
I thought Medium was just like Silent Hill. Like I thought it was really cool.
It feels to me like they were wanted to make a Silent Hill game, and they asked, and they're like, "Well, maybe not just yet." And then they were like, "All right, we'll show them this."
They even have one of the musical producers from Silent Hill do
the
Medium. I mean, Silent Hill was such an inspiration to that studio that, I do believe that they are actively looking to make a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, and Konami said in a press release, a separate one, it was excited to work with Bloober Team and other highly regarded development partners to produce games for existing and new IPs. They didn't actually announce it was going to be Silent Hill, but there's a good chance it could be.
It says here potential projects across our various IP.
Yeah. And
Well,
Bloober
going
said
back a
in
few months,
February.
wasn't it?
They said in.
So I was going to say, going back a few months ago, Konami were rumored to be selling off all their IPs, weren't they? And basically, apart from Pro Evo and a couple of others, they were getting out of making games and just licensing it. And then Bloober were in talks to get bought, and they pulled out recently. They kind of decided to stay independent, probably off the back of securing this. Like, well, we're about to make loads of money.
Yeah. And they said in February as well they're working on an existing horror IP from a very famous gaming publisher. Now, if 2 and 2 don't go together and it says Silent Hill, and orange is the opposite of blue, and it's clearly Kojima works for Bloober now. That's it. So we're sorted.
Confirmed.
But yeah, so that's pretty good. There'll be more news in the future, but I mean, Bloober did a good job with the medium. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but I'd love to. To be fair, the last 4 Silent Hill games have been shite compared to the old games. So the medium was better than most of them. So I'm happy just to see how they go with that. So that's pretty cool. Do you know what? I'm actually quite happy if it isn't Kojima, because wasn't Silent Hill supposed to be first person? And I don't want it first person. Resident Evil's gone first person. I want my tanky third person Silent Hill controls. That's why I like the medium, because it was tanky and third person. That's all I want. Don't change what's good.
If you played PT, then
exactly.
That's pretty much what the games will be. So
they've clearly looked at Resident Evil and went, "Oh, that worked. Let's do that." So, and then we're going on to even more. We can't get rid of Kojima in the news this week. Jeff Grubb posted up a bit of news he had about Kojima and Xbox coming together. Now, supposedly he said, as on a podcast and on VentureBeat, he said Hideo Kojima and Microsoft have signed a letter of intent that states that the two parties intend to work out the details on a publishing agreement for a new Xbox games. According to sources familiar with the matter, and this is like a key step in the negotiations, it basically says they've both sort of agreed a deal, and now it's down to the lawyers to sort of sort the money out and all the odd points. But supposedly this is a reason why Microsoft has been purchasing and hiring people like the Portal and Left 4 Dead developer Kim Swift the other week, because she's now heading up partnerships for cloud-based games. So the rumor is Kojima wants to do a cloud game. He went to Stadia and they didn't want to pay any money because they haven't got any, and they're getting out with having their own games. So he's gone to Xbox. So that, it seems, I mean, Jeff Grubb's normally pretty accurate. I mean, he's not always accurate 100%, but he doesn't normally talk a lot of wet. He's quite good on that. And it kind of makes sense. It makes sense for Microsoft to be buying in and hiring these new staff, especially for cloud gaming and stuff and cloud partnerships, if they're going to be doing a cloud game with Kojima. So, I mean, what's people's thoughts on that?
I saw a lot of people saying a cloud-based game doesn't appeal to them and it sounds bad, but Flight Simulator is a cloud-based game and people seem to think that's pretty incredible. So... Yeah, I don't know. Kojima, so it's going to be 90% cutscene movie.
Exactly, you don't need it then. You don't need Why do I have a weird feeling it's going to be like one of those weird mobile games that track your stuff and then proper mess with your mind, like a proper horror, like you were talking to someone today and then they try and mess with your head and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what it is, because we don't have enough details in my opinion. I'm not necessarily I haven't played too many Kojima games, so it's not like I'm like a fanboy like oh yeah, I'll play whatever he comes out with. I really want to see his games are good. I've just never really been that interested in them. But yeah, it depends on what it is.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a good fit for a horror game because he's so creative and
definitely
his creativity is out there. That's what it seems like. But I mean, there's one article that I have. It says that he's been hiring for an action game. So
there is a chance though they're doing more than one game, and that action game could, I suppose, be Death Stranding director's cut. They need some stuff on that maybe.
Yeah.
You've got to expand it and charge an extra. You've got to resell it at $70.
Would that really be considered an action game though? Like a lot of people called that a walking simulator.
There's
love the
combat,
fact-
but I don't know.
I love the fact that a game where he was the head of the game, was given full creative control, and was told you could do whatever you do, now has a director's cut, like stuff was cut out. Like he was literally told, do whatever you want, and now he has to release another version with more stuff that he decided not to put in. Like, so what he's shown so far is you can get in a box. Pay me $70, please. I can get in a box. Fuck me.
Relive your glory days of playing Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, goodness.
Did you guys already talk about there's a petition to
Oh,
not
yeah.
have
I saw that
Kojima
too. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
make games for Xbox?
An Xbox game, yeah. It was just, I just don't, I
Wow.
can't.
Please
believe it.
stop it, Kojima. You're turning your back on the winning side. Have you seen the comments now? It's jumped up in followers, like supporters, and then they're just abused in the comments because it's like, I've only joined this to tell you how stupid you are and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's hilarious. But I honestly
That's
think though
sad.
they've done the director's cut because it
Money.
didn't sell well. Money, yeah. It didn't. It wasn't a huge seller on the PlayStation. You'd know it was because they would shout it from the rooftops, but they never did. They just sort of were like, "Oh, it's here." So I think instead of they could have just brought out a patch for the PS5, but they've probably gone, "Nah, we'll stick a bit extra content in, slap some haptics on it, $70. We'll make a bit more money back from that purchase." Because it clearly didn't sell the numbers they were hoping to. But I don't know what they would expect because it did look weird. And it's not, and it's like Marmite. You're going to love that type of game, or you're going to be bored shedless. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it's not what a lot of people want. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people saw Kojima and thought it was going to be another Metal Gear Solid game in all but name, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like they didn't really market his game, I don't think, very well. That's what it seemed like, because you can build stuff. You could build like a bridges, and you could build like a highway in that game, and
Like a
nobody
ladder
talks
too
about
or
that.
something.
and people could leave
Yeah, you
stuff,
could-
and you could go
Yeah,
and get
you
on other
leave-
people's stuff.
Yeah, people will build things, and you'll see them from other players, and nobody talks about it. And like they didn't promote that or anything. I think that's really creative. And actually wanted to play the game, but I don't have a PlayStation or I don't have a PC that can play it. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe one day I'll play it. But I was interested. But he is very strange because I guess there's like he make bombs out of like poo and pee and stuff like that. So that's weird.
It's a very strange game, and they sort of focused on the star power. I feel with the marketing, they were like Norman Reedus.
Yeah,
and was it
yeah.
was it Conan or Jeff Grubb? Not Jeff Grubb. Jeff Keighley, I think, was in it as well.
He's
so
in it, yeah.
Of course he is.
They even showed like Rockstar energy drinks are in it and stuff like that. or
yeah,
something like that.
they made
Or
some money from the
Monster energy
sponsorship.
drinks. Yeah, it's very like he like I don't know, that's weird, man. Like those are ads then in the game. and,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you know what was
So,
really weird? Oh, go on, Jenna. You go first.
I was just say I saw an interesting thing about, like you said, about the sales figures of Death Stranding, about PlayStation exclusives that, apart from the occasional one, they don't really sell well. So they've got like 120, 130 million now PS4s, is it, or something close to that?
Yeah.
And they sell like
don't
10
sell
mil,
well.
if that.
And so Ghost of Tsushima, bear in mind, Halo 5, which was universally, well, not universally, but mostly hated by people, sold like 5 million copies in its first month, and Ghost of Tsushima did like 2.4 million in its first year. Like it's just past 4 million in March.
Yeah, that's not
Ratchet
very
and
good.
Clank, the biggest selling one of that, has sold just under 4 million, and that was on the PS Vita. So their franchises, apart from, I think God of War sold about 20, didn't it? Sold about, but Sea of Thieves has had 21.5 million players or something. So
Yeah.
even the ones that are apparently flop on Xbox sell a lot more, about 5 times more to a smaller install base. So I think that's why they're doing these re-releases and these upgrades and these extra charges, because they just need to sell it again and port it to PC to get those sales up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's odd though,
How
isn't
can you
it?
not? I mean, how can you not want to put your games on PC? I mean, there's such a big user base How can you
Yeah,
ignore
makes
that?
sense.
I think they didn't want to be the first because they'll get the blame for it. Whereas now Microsoft are all in, they're like, well, we can do that now.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot more of it. But yeah, I saw that same thing with the numbers, and it just shows you. I mean, 90% of people that play on PlayStation probably just play third-party games, like 90% of people that play on Xbox. It's just how it is. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't buy a console just for that one game. I mean, I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like the look of Ratchet and Clank, the new one, but I ain't buying a
Same.
PS5 for 500 quid just to get one game. I'll wait and get it when it's on sale or
Yeah.
on PS4 later
Yeah.
because it'll probably come out
Yeah,
there
yeah.
because all the others have. So I'm holding out hope.
I have enough to play right now as it is, so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're never gonna run out. I mean, especially with stuff like Game Pass, and they keep throwing stuff at you, and people are like, "Well, Game Pass is full of crap." It's like, have you played half these games? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, have you tried them at least? Like for even like 10 minutes, 15
I
minutes?
mean, I
You just probably
understand,
look at
right?
them and
If I was on PlayStation 5 and I spent $70 on Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, I'd be really annoyed because it's not a $70 game. But when you get it for your £10 a month subscription included with all the other games I play, and I've looked at how many hours I've played on some of the Game Pass games alone. Like I've put in hundreds of hours on Sea of Thieves. I think I've put in 500 plus hours on Forza Horizon 4, and I haven't bought the game. I play it through Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I've got my money's worth out of all the Game Pass games here, and I still buy games if I want to buy them. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's mad.
Nope.
Honestly, yeah, it does baffle me quite a bit. But hey,
Those-
oh,
Especially if you have a family, kids and wife, and
Yeah.
you got like other people coming to your house. It's like, how can you not have Game Pass? Like,
Game Pass needs a family plan. Phil
oh
Spencer,
yeah.
give us a family plan for those of us who have more than one person on a machine because we don't want to pay for twice as much. Do you know what I mean? So
I remember he
Mhm.
did talk about it, didn't he? It was something he was looking into. It was
yeah, but then they try to raise the price of gold.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And I will say that I know I said the PlayStation exclusives don't sell. I know there's one or two like God of War and Spider-Man. Apparently, the first Spider-Man sold well. Miles Morales is meant to be selling really well. So I think they have some games that are actually shifting numbers, but a lot of them I think are just missing the mark. They're getting reviewed well and not selling.
Yeah, it's a shame because
Yeah, I mean,
Spider-Man
if you
is really
see,
good. I mean, I bought Spider-Man on PS4 and it's awesome. It is such a good
If you-
game.
If you go into CEX, the amount of copies of The Last of Us 2 you see on the shelves in there is unbelievable. The amount of PlayStation games that get traded in.
Well, did you
Oh.
see that thing about that trophy? There's a trophy on the Astrobots, the first trophy that you get
Yeah,
after
I saw
about playing for like 2 minutes, has only been got by about half the people that have played it. So no, there's a lot of people either aren't playing on their PS5s or they're just not playing that game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
It worked out as well by number of accounts against sales, and a quarter of PlayStation 5s have never been turned on, so I think it's sat with scalpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
That
There's a lot,
sucks.
hearing about that.
millions.
Scalping sucks, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did see a
man.
PS5 in the wild today because I've only seen one before, which is one that my nephew's got. But I saw one in a shop today, and it was the digital one, and they were selling it for 550 quid.
Wow.
Wow. I've never seen one or a new Xbox at a store ever. And I mean, I go to the Best Buy and like all their shelves they have so many empty shelves of like the controllers are gone, like everything. It's just like, I don't know. It's nuts.
Jeez.
I mean, it's back to the Game Pass discussion. I mean, a lot of people who don't have Game Pass don't understand that it's literally our portal to every first party game,
Yeah.
day and date, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have, and we pay $5 extra on top of our Xbox Live monthly. It's
Mhm.
great. So
Did you
nobody
get
else
paid by
does that.
Xbox to say that?
For only $1 for 3 months. That's true. Nope. If I was, I'd be doing some crazy stuff if I was getting paid, So, but I'm not.
No, we're not that lucky. I think you're on mute, Ash.
I'm just not with it today, lads. I swear. I apologise. Everyone's watching, and I'm just like, what's going on here? But yeah, but if anyone does want to sponsor us, you know where we are. We're always up for. If you want us to talk about Manscaped, you want us to talk about Raid Shadow Legends, we'll do it. We will shave. We will shave Fabio bald with a manscaping thing if it gets us something. We'll cover him in KFC gravy if that's what gets us a sponsorship. So you know where we are.
Jelly.
Yeah, KY jelly. I had a bit of a rant on Twitter the other day about the amount of controllers that certain influencers get sent. So I don't get why one influencer gets about 20 free controllers. Send them to randomers that play Xbox. They'll be more grateful and they'll talk about it more instead of like, hello, look at my selection of controllers I've got every single week. I get a new one. There's no need for it. Send them maybe 2, but what do they need 12? It's just madness. And I keep seeing the same like 10 influencers get the stuff all the time, and you're like, are they really bringing it in for like extra people into the ecosystem all the time? Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you just gave them away to randomly to people, or gave us all a chance to win them with competitions on dashboard or something, people would be more grateful than seeing a YouTuber or someone on Twitter or someone like that just bragging that they've got another free pad because they're mates with someone who works behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? So no hate.
I know the one you're referring to.
No, I no.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw one, and it's no hate to them. It's not their fault. I mean, if Phil kept sending me pads every week, I wouldn't complain. But it was that one, and then I saw another one post something similar, and another one, and I was like, it's just not fair to everyone else. It's just strange. I don't get marketing. I don't know why you would keep sending the same pads and pads and pads and pads out to the same people all the time. Give them to other people. Give them to little streamers who will eventually grow into bigger streamers. Give them to news outlets. Give them to people who play your fucking console. Give them to PlayStation fans as a way to bring them over. It makes more sense. Do you know what I mean? Anything than giving 20 pads to one person, in my opinion, it's just silly. No hate. That's no hate to anyone who gets free pads or anything. It doesn't mean you're a bad content creator or anything like that. You're all really great, but I just think it's a bit weird from a marketing standpoint to just give the same person multiple stuff instead of sharing the love to like more grateful people out there who would be honestly made up if they could get some. I mean, if we'd won that bloody Bethesda thing, we'd all be showing off our fancy Bethesda controller each because.
Heck yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I pray for the day one day I'll win a Free Code Friday contest from Major Nelson. It still hasn't happened yet, but I'm down for it. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm just annoyed I can't get that Pride controller.
Yeah, I would buy that. It's such a nice controller. I would buy it. So we're going to move on to worse news now, unfortunately. They've announced the games with gold for July. And as always, they're top tier. So let me just get them up in front of me.
I wouldn't bother.
So I say that there were a couple that are decent this month, but there's nothing. I mean, there's no like newish games. I mean, we have got Planet Alpha.
That game's cool.
July 1st to July 31st. Rock of Ages 3, July 16th to August 15th. Then we've got the original OG Conquer Reloaded for original Xbox, July 1st to July 15th, which I'm interested in. I've got the original Conquer with the rare replay, but this is like the remastered version, better graphics, has a multiplayer mode in it for split screen, which is quite fun. But it's still an OG Xbox game. And then Midway Arcade Classics or something like that from July 16th to July 31st, which I'm also interested in because I like my classic arcade games. But then you look at like what PS Now is doing, or PS Plus, should I say? And they've got a Plague Tale Innocence, not the remastered, like upscaled next gen version, but a Plague Tale Innocence. They've got Call of Duty.
It's the
Is it
PS5
the
one this month.
updated
It
version?
actually is for once. Yep.
Wow. So that's even
all
better
games.
then. I mean, we're getting that with Game Pass for free, but still, they've got Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is still a decent game, and then WWE Battlegrounds, which isn't a great game, but for kids, it's all right. It's better than Rock of Ages 3, but I don't know what you guys think, because it just feels like they've given up on games with gold now. I'm grateful for free stuff. I'll download them all, add them to my collection, but when you look at what we get on Xbox compared to what PlayStation's been doing recently, it's no contest really.
I mean, I think when you think about it though, like and I think we've had this discussion before. Like, first of all, it's free stuff, right? And second of all, like you're getting this for the most part with your Ultimate subscription. So it's like PlayStation didn't have that, so they kind of have to like they're kind of forced to work a little harder in this area. Like they have to actually offer like something better to their customers, because like we get these free games, and yes, they're not great, but we get Game Pass with over 100 games, so on top of that. So it's like, and those fluctuate, and like, and the first party stuff is always there day one, as Bob said before. Like we get a lot more bang for our buck at the end of the day, even though the games with gold, are not that great. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you've got to think there's only been like 20 million announced Game Pass subscribers right now. So that means there's at least 30 million that aren't subscribed to Game Pass, that subscribe to Xbox Live. So, yes, for us who are on Ultimate, it's fantastic. That's why I don't complain a lot, because I'm on Ultimate, I get everything, I get extra stuff free. But when you're comparing it one for one, we're comparing Xbox Live Gold to PS Plus. PS Plus is on the next level. Now, PS Now to Game Pass is the opposite way round, but Xbox Live costs more than PS Plus unless you get it on a good deal. And PS Plus, yes.
Really?
Yeah, PS Plus is slightly cheaper than Game Pass. Not a huge amount, but it is cheaper. And
the Game Pass, yeah, but is it Gold and
Gold is
PS
cheap.
Plus?
Gold is slightly more than PS Plus, I believe. Yeah.
More. Wow. Okay.
And I mean, you get a premier online experience, because I don't like the PS online service as much.
Yeah.
But the game offerings recently have been on another level compared, and it's all well and good saying we've got Game Pass, but those people that aren't on Game Pass are looking and like, well, why should I? I mean, once you've had Game Pass, you know how good it is, and you'll probably want to stay subscribed. But there's a lot of people that aren't on Game Pass, so instead of just trying to shove everyone onto Game Pass, they need to at least cater to the the people who are paying.
It's funny because like either way, if you don't have a subscription, you can't keep any of those games.
No, exactly.
So,
well, you can on Xbox. You can keep all the original OG Xbox games when you don't pay. Yeah. But it's only the OG Xbox games for some reason. So,
yeah.
So refresh my memory. If you have PS Plus,
yeah,
and you decide to get PS Now bundled with it, what does that cost you?
About
I don't think they have a bundle, do they?
They don't have a bundle, but I believe because PS Now is stupidly cheap, it is a really cheap service. They're about the same, if not if we're going on full price, so we're saying a full price of Game Pass for a year Ultimate versus a full price of a PS Now and PS Plus. Game Pass Ultimate is still slightly more expensive. I mean, not a huge amount, but honestly, you can get both of these pretty much the same price if you look for deals. Like, you've just got to look around for them, basically.
So I get my Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. So being Ultimate, it's like $14.99 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, £10.99 in the UK a month. So you can get PS Now and PS Plus for $15 as well. I believe it's less.
Really?
Yeah. PS Plus price. Let me just work this out quickly while we're here. They don't.
I
They
guess
don't
maybe
put it
their
in like
way
big letters anywhere,
Mm.
which is really annoying.
their way of competing with Game Pass is just doing, the different other services just for them. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's cheaper for them to do that or what, but
So PS Plus in the UK is $6.99 a month. So let me just see what
Yeah,
PS
that's cheap.
Now is, because I believe Xbox Live is £8 a month in the UK, and PS Now. Oh, why is it always hidden?
But I think
Actually,
another part
no.
of this
I
is
will
that-
stand corrected. I will hold my hands up. If you paid monthly, PS Plus and PS Now is more expensive. So like I pay $10.99 a month for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. If I was to buy both of them on PlayStation, it would cost me 7 plus 9, £16 a month. So,
Wow.
however, you can get if you pay for 12 months up front with PS Now, you get it for £4 a month. So it actually works out a lot cheaper. It works out like £2 cheaper a month basically if you pay 12 months for both of them.
still more expensive though.
It's more expensive if you pay month to month, yes. But if you paid up front for a year, like if I bought a year of Game Pass Ultimate, it would be slightly more than buying a year of PS Plus and PS Now. But you don't get the extra perks. I understand you don't get the extra perks or like that. So yeah, so 12 months of PS Plus in the UK is £50. So you're looking at, instead of it being £130-40 for Game Pass Ultimate, you're paying £100 for PS Plus and PS Now. However, I must admit, I agree. PS Now is terrible compared, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, as an Ultimate subscriber, I'm happy across the board. Like I say, I'm not bothered. The free games I get are fantastic. But
I think another part of it is that, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe they just don't care actually, but I feel like Microsoft is keeping the price. We had that whole debacle of them trying to increase it.
Yeah.
But I think they're keeping it like this because of the same reason why they tried to increase it in the beginning, just to, convert people to Game Pass and not keep them on live, And so, I think they know for a fact that given the things that you get, the perks that you get from Xbox Live versus Ultimate, or Game Pass in general, is they know that it could be cheaper to just sell gold individually, but they don't want to because they don't want, they want people to convert to Ultimate, because that's what they're trying to go for. That's their whole marketing scheme right now,
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm agreeing with you there. I'm just comparing gold on its own to PS Plus on its own. So for me, there's no contest, unfortunately. Sony are kicking.
Definitely not.
Well, like I always forget PS Plus is the live, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. They made that better than Xbox Live because they figured maybe because everybody is going to get that at default, like, so maybe that's their strategy to put those better games in that service because more people will get that service now, and the people will stick with it because it has the better games that you get for free,
And on PlayStation, you don't get cloud saves unless you have PS Plus.
Yeah, that is terrible, isn't it?
That is.
But it doesn't matter; they don't carry over from PS4 to PS5 anyway. So.
But at least like they're competing in their way with Game Pass, you could say that. So
yeah,
it's all about subscriptions.
It's just a shame. I mean, it's great for both platforms. We're getting free games every month, but it is a bit shit when you go on and you're looking at what you're getting and you're like, oh, Conquer. I was really happy for Conquer and Midway, honestly, but the Xbox One games, I would like. Why can't we not get one Xbox One, one Xbox Series game, one Xbox 360, and one OG game? We've got you could give us literally the whole spectrum of consoles each month, one of each. Do you know what I mean? Instead of
Mhm.
this, I don't even know where they pick them. It's like they've got a bucket and they just sort of throw some in and go, that'll do. It's so weird and so random. So
Yeah, there's no pattern to it at all.
no,
I
exactly.
think they should at least they should give you like at least a game that's optimized for Series X. You know, one a month or something. They should at least do that.
Yeah,
But,
there's a lot of Ratalaika games that are enhanced for Series X. Give us some of them for free. Honestly, I bet people wouldn't complain. So
I don't think Ratalaika would ever go for that though, because
no,
they're making money right now. And I mean, I actually saw an article on True Achievements. I think it was written like literally yesterday.
I was going to talk about that
And it
later,
was-
and I agree. Yeah.
yeah. It was about the if people are pissed about the whole achievement thing for from those games or anything like that.
Yeah. Quick update before we move on. England are out 2-0. So we are coming home by the sounds of it. So Harry Maguire scored at 46 minutes. So there you go. Your up to date footballing news from your Xbox podcast there. Oh, it's coming home, lads. None of yous care. Could be worse.
The end of it.
Could be
Alright.
could be
The
Wales.
last World Cup you won every time England play a football game, they have to show it. The law.
That's it. That's it. If we win, we're coming home. That's what me and my wife were laughing about this earlier. It's like we could literally beat the like under 19s women's team with our males top squad, and we'd be like, "Yeah, that's it. We're going to win World Cup this year, lads. It's on. England foot win." But
I love how in the last game at Wembley they were singing "Don't Take Me Home." It's like you are playing at home. You get this, yeah.
we'll move on to the Gamepass Additions. So
Okay,
these
real
Yeah.
quick. Sorry to cut you off, Ash. So I just did a count. What is 63 times 6 plus 1?
So is that 63 times 7 or 64 times 6
no.
or 63 times 6 plus 1?
379.
So I just went through all the Game Pass games. They're in rows of 6. There's
Oh,
63 rows.
Right, I'm going to
and
tell
one
you.
row with just one game.
339.
Go to GamePassCounter.com. It's been set up. There are 467 unique games on Xbox Game Pass. So there are 1,006 total games when other versions are counted for. For example,
That's
Doom
with
versus
You're also.
PC, but there are 467 unique games.
Yeah,
25 have recently been added, 64 are coming soon, 18 are leaving soon. There's 371 console games, 368 PC games, and 267 cloud games, 141 EA Play games, 74 touch games, 60 back compact games, and 50 XS optimized games. 25 have FPS boosts, 23 have FPS boosts to 60. Sorry, that 25 was FPS boost 120. 311 of them are Xbox One games, 56 of them are Xbox 360 games, 4 of them are OG Xbox games, 38 have smart delivery, 33 have crossplay, 22 have mouse and keyboard support. You're welcome.
Jeez.
And that's
Yeah.
GamePassCounter.com, and they update that as soon as stuff happens. And
Yeah,
the
it's
guy
amazing.
one of the guys who set that up is coming on our show next week. So that's a shameless
Nice.
plug. So well done for unwittingly getting into that. But yeah, there's no comparison. There are more games on PS now, I believe overall, but
Yeah.
half of them are streaming only, whereas obviously, and none of them are on PC. So it swings and roundabouts. If you love like certain types of games PlayStation make, you're gonna want the PlayStation service. If you like the stuff Xbox puts out as well as day one multiplats, then that Xbox platter is more interesting. It's chalk and cheese, isn't it? It's whatever you prefer, really.
The only difference is PlayStation doesn't put any of their exclusives for like the last 2 years in there. They haven't put any PS5 games in there, and half the library is streamed PS3 games.
Yeah. And stuff like God of War, they did add God of War and stuff, but they're for like 4 months or 3 months or something like that. They're really short time frames, weirdly, and I never understood that. So,
Yeah.
One thing PS Plus does get though, it gets the PS4 whatever it is library collection, which has like some great good games in it, which is a really nice collection. But that's like a one-off bundle of like 10 to 20 games, I believe. That was some of like the better ones from last gen. If you signed up for it at a certain period of time. So, like I say,
It's a premium experience.
But yeah, we'll move on. So Game Pass has had some more additions that came on this week. So you've got Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on Cloud. Best game ever.
It's a great game.
It's nothing to write home about though. Not on Cloud. Like, you can now play Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, widely regarded as the worst Banjo-Kazooie while you have a poo. So there you go. Bug Fables, the everlasting, is it Song Symphony or something like that, coming to Cloud Console and PC. Immortal Realms, Vampire Wars coming to Cloud Consoles and PC. Gang Beasts is coming to Cloud Console and PC, and Limbo's coming to Cloud Console and PC, and they're all out now. And obviously also, that was as of July the 1st, and also Space Jam the movie game is available to Ultimate subscribers as well from the 1st. So it's not the best lineup yet, but obviously it is the first drop of the month. I expect more to come during the month. I think we've got a first party dropping this month, isn't it? We've got
a few.
A few coming this month, so. But it is what it is.
The updates to A Plague's Tale on the 7th. Then we have Flight Simulator the 27th, The Ascent on the 29th, and Death's Door, I think, as well, isn't it? The last day of the month.
Oh, that looks good, Death's Door, definitely. That's one of the indie ones, isn't it? From Devolver.
That looks awesome. Looks good.
Not a bad month.
No. While we're on the topic of like cloud games and stuff, Xcloud is now available to all Game Pass Ultimate members. So it had previously been rolled out on an invite-only basis. Now every Game Pass Ultimate member can just log in, and that's on PC and on like Android and iPhone and stuff like that. It's available everywhere now to all subscribers. And I believe they've now started moving on to the Series X blades, which means the latency is reduced, the load times are reduced. I don't know if it increases the visual quality. I assume it will do at their end. It might make it look a bit more sharp on our end, but you're not going to see like 4K Ultimate sort of graphics. But
they said it's 1080p 60.
It's an improvement over what it was, and the sort of input latency is going to be reduced as well, so that's good.
I tried it on PC, and it did pretty well. Of course, I'm still hearing audio problems, or the audio cuts out. But I did see definitely faster loading times. So, yeah, it's an improvement for sure.
So what I'm curious about is when can we expect an xCloud implementation into our consoles? Like last night we were playing with Halo 5 and somebody wanted to join, and they had accidentally deleted Halo 5 from their console because it came up as one of the recommended games to delete to save space. But if xCloud was already implemented into the consoles, then he could have been playing with us immediately while he was downloading it in the background.
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
It really needs to happen.
Well, they've announced it's coming.
Phil said it's coming at some point.
Yeah, the base Xbox One is going to run Flight Simulator through xCloud.
Yeah.
So that means it's coming sooner rather than later.
News,
I think it's through a browser, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it will be. I think when it comes to Xbox consoles, it will be an app on the machine. They're not going to make you go through Bing, because the Bing and that app is shit. They're going to make... I tell you what, though, while we're on Bing quickly, the Bing mobile app on iPhone has been updated. I switched it on today, and it is loads better. It's more responsive, it's cleaner, it doesn't have as many stupid like tabs opening up when you're using it. So if you use Bing for your rewards, the new iPhone app is shit hot compared to what it used to be.
They may just port Edge over to the Xbox.
Maybe, yeah. Might do Edge, or I just think it'll be like a native app, or it'll just be built in, and you'll go on Game Pass, and it'll be like download or play now.
They did say they're going to do play whilst you download, so you can just
Hmm.
literally start playing, trying games whilst it's downloading, or you can just not download and choose, cancel it.
Yeah, I can't wait, because when I'm on with you guys, you're always like, do you want to play this game? And I'm like, I haven't got that one installed. Because it's one of those games I wouldn't play on my own. I would literally only play it with you guys or randomly in a group. I just wouldn't go out my way to play it, but it would be nice to be able to, like, in those games, when I'm not, I just want to play with my mates, I can literally just jump in. I mean, it won't have as perfect an experience, but I have the option, do you know what I mean? So...
I think that it's going to be interesting when they implement more cloud gaming and everything. You might be able to get more free trials with the cloud. Maybe, I don't know if that's going to be something where it's like, oh, you don't have to download it, but it's a free trial, so you could play instantly.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And they can control it maybe with the cloud, so maybe it's easier on developers. They don't have to make demos anymore. They just do these really inexpensive free trials where they just unlock the first like 10 minutes of a game through the cloud, and then it cuts you off.
Yeah.
Speaking of, with the Windows 11 announcement, there was something in there about DirectX 12, where they're going to allow you to use Azure Cloud to access better powered PCs for developing games. So from my potato laptop, which I wouldn't be able to make a game on, I'll be able to remote access to a super, like developing designed computer or console and make games through that without the need to go out and buy it. So it's going to see even more indie devs and stuff sprout up, because it's going to bring the cost of entry way down.
They've built this foundation, like Azure and stuff like that is amazing. They are going to reap the benefits of that soon. They're going to have it. Like, imagine being able to go to schools and being like, you don't have to buy new computers for your school. We'll just stick this on it and it'll run like a brand new computer and stuff. Honestly, Microsoft's going to make a lot of money and a lot of new users. And they're going to have to do that because Windows 11 doesn't work on half of anyone's PCs and stuff going forward. Now they've released the specs. Won't even run on my laptop, and I'm gutted because it looks so nice.
I wonder if they're doing that flight simulator cloud gaming on all the consoles, because I'm just looking at my download of Flight Sim, and it says PC and Xbox Series X and S, and then under the about, it says size for this device 297 megabytes.
Yeah.
That could be a pre-download though. Ready? They haven't done the full download.
More than likely, yeah.
So the game uses, is it 2 or 3 petabytes of information stored on servers, and it just streams it as you're going around the world?
Yeah, on the data stack it's really large.
They've announced a load of upgrades as well for Flight Sim this week, haven't they? For the PC version, and also it'll mean it'll run better on Xbox and stuff. So that's good. I don't have it to hand. I just remember reading something about it the other day.
I saw Tom Warren saying it's an NDA, but he can't show it. But he was saying it's incredible how much better it runs. He's getting like double frame rates and stuff.
Nice. If anyone likes football, England are now 3-0 up. Harry Kane scored one in 50th minute. So there we go. I think we've won this one.
What I know, because you doesn't was it? I'm trying to think. Don't you also have like American football over there too, right?
We have we have a bit of NFL. They'll come over like twice a year and do a couple of matches in England. But we have an English NFL league, but it's like people in the local park. It's not big at all.
Yeah,
it's like Yorkshire goats and stuff like that. There's no one big, but it's because it's rugby. Rugby's bigger in the UK than the NFL. Which is a shame because I absolutely love the NFL. It's great. It's just too flashy and showy. I just love it. I love that. As soon as they fall over, they get all cheerleaders out. We'll have like Rihanna run outfield, sing. Then she runs off, and then we keep going. I love it. I love NFL. Super Bowl.
It's a lot different than it used to be. The most violent sport in the world. Now it's not as violent as it used to be. But You have no idea how bad it used to be.
All these pussies in America wearing helmets and shoulder pads and stuff, and in England, it's just two blokes locking up, getting cauliflower ears off each other. That's it.
Years.
They really have gentrified rugby now. As soon as they got rid of rucking, it
Yeah.
went downhill. Because, like, funnily enough, they did it to make the game safer and it didn't look TV. But the amount of injuries in the rucks has gone through the roof because people are getting trapped the wrong side. And what you used to do before, because you weren't allowed to use your hands to get the ball, is you would kick the shit out of the guy laying in front of the ball and use your boots to run over him so he'd move out the way, and it would just speed the game up because nobody wants to lay there and have 18, 19 stone guys running on him with football boots to get out the way. Now, it's like, oh, they're not allowed to stamp on me, so they deliberately lay there, they slow the ball down, they get trapped, they get injured. Anyway, I could ramble on all night about how they've ruined it, but yeah.
Oh, that's a different podcast. That's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
Has everybody noticed the automatic group that you go to your games and apps? Xbox has added an automatic group for everybody that tells them what games are sitting in their quick resume.
Yes, it's
I just
fantastic.
noticed that the other day.
I can clear one is down that I don't need quick resume on, so I've always got space, so I don't have to worry about all the stuff getting cancelled off.
I use the groups. Like I make my own groups, like different categories, the genre of games. I even have like a unfinished group in my unfinished games. Like it's too many. Oh man.
Also, if you like quick resume, it works with physical media as well. That's something we learned today.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't seem to realise if you take a disc out. Like I've been playing Mafia on disc because I bought the physical version because it was on sale. And then I've took it out. I've played multiple Blu-rays, a couple of DVDs. I've put the disc back in a week later. Boom, straight in game where I was up to. So it even works with physical. So don't listen to rubbish online. It works with physical. It works with digital. It takes you back to the exact spot, the exact second, the exact movement you're up to in game. It doesn't take you to the checkpoint. It is to the exact spot you left it at. So if you're mid-punch, you'll then load up and finish the punch. Do you know what I mean?
That's funny.
And it has to be put in by developers, right? The quick resume, or
I think Microsoft is helping most developers with it. I mean, not every game has it. But a large amount have been growing. Pretty much all the new games have it. They're just slowly implementing it into the sort of older stuff, basically. So,
yeah.
I just saw a thing online. There's 43 announced games for Xbox in development at the moment. That's pretty cool.
That's a lot.
And all of them will be on Gamepass Day 1 as well, supposedly. So I'm not going through them because some of it might not be true, but I just thought that was pretty awesome that there's 43 in development.
Xbox got no games is clearly false.
Yeah. Now Xbox got no games, but Sony bad for indie games as the other news of this week. So I don't know if any of you have seen this. A couple of indie devs broke rank and spoke out about the from Company X, and then they named them later on as PlayStation. Basically, it's not very good for small developers, indie developers, we'll say, from it being impossible to get your game noticed in the store, to disappearing down the rankings, to just bad communication from Sony, to being charged up to 25 grand just to get it on the store. So, it's been a rough week. So, what did any of you guys see this? I don't want to just ramble on as usual.
I did hear about it. I mean, they were complaining about they can't discount their own games. They have to be invited to put their game on a sale. There's all kinds of loops and boundaries they have to go through. The communication's really bad. I mean, it was the developer said it was. I mean, they said it was for the console that does not have Game Pass. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And they don't sell
So-
cardboard games as well. That was the other
Oh, they
one.
said. I didn't know that.
No, they don't
So
sell
I
cardboard
thought-
games, so it wasn't
Oh.
it's not the
Yeah.
Switch with the
Oh,
the
okay.
VR.
I was saying it could be the Switch, Stadia, Luna, because remember those platforms, they exist, I guess.
Yeah.
but he said it was a big time platform.
Yeah.
And Stadia is not a big time platform. Sorry if you like Stadia, but it's not a big time platform.
Don't go. Well, we don't want
Um,
no Stadia fanboys getting on there like the diehard of the diehard. They're like dinosaurs. They
No,
know they're extinct, but they're still gonna fight us.
I mean, I want Stadia and Luna to actually succeed, because I think you need more competition.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just sorry, but I don't think that they're talking about them, but maybe. So it's hard for. I mean, imagine if you worked with a company, and it's hard to actually speak your mind sometimes because you can. I don't know if you know what I mean by burning bridges. That's what you can do very easily. And when you upset a company that you're working with publicly, that's hard. That's dangerous.
To be fair, though, a couple of them that spoke out, I mean, they showed off their sort of sales charts. So I'm going to go with one of them was the Awesome Guys. They've made like Monster Prom on Xbox, and they do a lot of other games on like Switch and stuff like that. The Christian Bautier, I apologize if I'm butchering your name, showed off their thing. So they sell like 90% of their sales come from Steam. About 8% come from Switch, and then like 1% comes from Xbox, and less than 0.6 come from Xbox, and 0.3 come from PlayStation. Now you might think that's quite bad for Xbox, but they did say that was higher than what they expected. And honestly, you've got to think there's nearly 3 times as many PS4s and Switches out there as there is Xbox Ones. So, and to be fair, Switch games, if you go on the Switch store right now, 90% of it is indie games, and they're always at the front. So they're really good at promoting stuff like that, Nintendo. And then there was another one, Matthew White. Let me just see who from Whitethorn Games. Now
Whitethorn Digital.
They said basically over half of theirs came from Nintendo, about 45-50%, about 40% came from Xbox, and then sort of 10% was split between PlayStation and Steam. So it just shows that, Xbox don't buy no games, but clearly we'd buy more than PlayStation users, especially for indie games and stuff like that. And there's loads. I honestly wish people would go out and read this. It was originally posted by Ian Garner. That was the main one, of co-founder of Neon Doctrine, who are an indie developer. Now, their games may not be for everyone, but honestly, someone must want them. I mean, there's one indie dev who says he hasn't had a sale in like 6 months on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Not one person bought your game. Come on.
He's not allowed to reduce the price. He's asked, and they've basically said, we'll get back to you. And for 6 months, they haven't responded.
I'm looking at an article right now. There's like some headlines here, like some of the things. So it's they can't discount the price during sales. The Sony managers are considered great, but are tough or impossible to contact. Indie devs are left waiting up to a month after game releases for sales figures. PS Store submission is so complicated that one dev wrote its own set of instructions on how to do it. And developers' own promotion garners 10 times more views than official Sony Spotlight. And then the last one I think says indie devs question whether to bother with PS5 or PS4 ports in the future.
I think Kotaku wrote an article on this, but what they focused on was the £25,000 advertising, which apparently Microsoft and Nintendo do on certain circumstances. So I think that was the headline, and everyone went, I don't see the problem. Everyone does it, but it was all the other things the dev wrote about, which was specific to Sony, and like not being able to discount prices, not getting sales figures, being impossible to contact. They were the things that this dev was really complaining about. And then the one thing Kotaku picks up is the thing that everyone does and kind of runs with that. And ironically, I'm not sure if it was a troll or not, but someone emailed Kotaku or brought up an old email they'd had previously when they were asking to advertise on the site. And they'd replied saying it was like £20,000 for like a Prime advert or something. So
Yeah, and some of those devs did come out and say that Microsoft hadn't charged them anything. They even give them dev kits and all sorts. The only fee they paid was like the 30% sale charge in the store. There was no $25,000 or anything like that. So I don't know where Kotaku were pulling it from because they haven't backed it up with sources. It's one of those well-written Kotaku pieces as always. But it sucks. It sucks for indie devs if that's what they're really going through. It's madness. I reached out to a couple of them, and because especially the ones where they were like, say, it's like the guys from Monster Prom, the developers, where it said they'd only had like 1% sales on Xbox, and I said, can we help promote it or anything? Because obviously we want games to do well, and it sucks if an indie game isn't doing well on Xbox. Yeah. But they said they did say that it was performing to what they wanted. They weren't unhappy with it or anything like that, which is good. But they have sent us a copy to review, so I'm going to do a review of it next week, record it. And we've got 2 copies to give away of Monster Prom on Xbox, which we'll give away on next week's show. So we're going to do a giveaway shortly, but there's also going to be another giveaway next weekend as well. So just anything we can do to help indie guys out. If they want us to highlight the games, get in touch. We're more than happy to promote. We play a lot of indies between us, and everyone deserves to have the shit scene out there. Do you know what I mean? It's and big companies that shouldn't be stopping them from changing the price of their games and stuff. It's just madness, honestly. So I'm honestly shocked by that.
That was the bit that surprised me the most, like the advertising fee and stuff like that. It's like, well, yeah, they're doing work for you, but when they were saying we can't dictate the prices or choose when we want a game to go on sale, it's madness.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, honestly. England are 4-0 up now, so we're definitely coming home today. Fantastic. But yeah, like I say, it's really shocking, and there's a lot of these articles coming out painting Sony in not a super high light, are they? Do you know what I mean? It's a very shady sort of weird practices. It's like because they're so big and they're so far ahead, they just don't give a shit anymore. So who knows? Anyone else
kicking ass, aren't they?
We're doing, yeah. We are playing Ukraine. Like, I mean, it's not like we're playing like France or we beat Germany just, but yeah, 4-0. I can't complain at that.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll be through to semis, but I don't know if we'll get all the way through to finals. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to do a post here to promote this giveaway, and it just keeps kicking me out. So big thanks to.
What's doing now? We skipped over the Doom Eternal upgrades.
Yes, yeah. Fabio will be gutted because he's been playing it this week to test it on his Series S. So, has anyone actually played the Doom Eternals? Yes. Now it's been updated. I'll let you discuss that because I haven't played it yet.
Oh.
It is fantastic. There's no other way to describe it. It's a thing of beauty. So I played Doom Eternal when it first came out, and I played it for 10-15 minutes, enjoyed it, but I was still blasting through Control and Red Dead, so I kind of just parked it and went back to them. And then as part of my 10-minute review section I do on my channel, I chucked it on the 1800p ray tracing mode. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. So I've been blasting that all week now and recording it and putting gameplay up, like, ready to go with that. It's incredible. That's the best way to describe it. So for those who don't know, it's got 3 modes now on the Series X. You get 120 FPS at 1800p. You can do a balanced mode, which is 60 FPS at 4K. Or you have a quality mode, which is 60 FPS, 1800p with ray tracing enabled.
Wow.
You get similar on Series S. You get the 120 FPS at 1080p, a balanced mode which is 60 FPS but at 1440p. There's no ray tracing mode. on the Series S. And then the PS5 also had the update for free, which is something they're not used to. And the resolution on that was like 1528, or some really weird numbers for the resolutions, but it gets the same ray tracing performance and balance modes as well. And if you've never played Doom Eternal, now is the time to play it, because 60 frames a second ray tracing, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I downloaded the Metro patch, so I'm looking forward to playing that, because that has ray tracing too. So I think it's 60 FPS. So Metro's awesome. They're both. I mean, they're both first person shooters, but Doom's probably faster of a game.
Yeah, it's really fast.
Yeah, Metro's more of like a action RPG or action adventure, or something like that.
For me, is how they could find the hybrid between, Halo, we've got the community who doesn't want sprint and the community that likes sprint. How to keep it true to the old ones where you didn't have a sprint, but it's not so slow, is make it like Doom Eternal's pace, maybe. And that'll be like sit somewhere nicely between the two. Or just give it to id and let them run with it, either or.
Yeah.
There has been a bit of a complaint online, though, as well about Doom Eternal today. They put a developer update out saying they weren't going to proceed with one of their modes, and they were going to sit and develop like a horde mode, a single player mode, instead of this like multiplayer mode. Now, I haven't played it yet, so I don't know what mode they're exactly on about. It was like an invasion mode or something like that, but now they're going to focus on a single player horde mode instead. Now, a lot of people seem to be happy with that because it keeps it single player. There are those that are like, well, I bought this game because you said you were going to develop this mode, and they're not. So swings and roundabouts, but I don't know if it's going to affect you guys who play it a lot. But
a horde mode, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be like a wave mode, I think.
Yeah,
which seems
cool.
which sounds more like Doom, though. It sounds more like a Doom mode. So
yeah, it's true.
You just want to feel like a badass in that game.
I think the invasion mode was supposed to be multiplayer, so I think that's why. And this one's supposed to be single player, so I think that's why there's such an outcry from people.
Yeah.
That game has the best soundtrack and the best effects. It's like heart-pounding music, and it's just like brutal, and it's just like it's meant to just keep you going.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's meant for.
I'm surprised that it took this long for Doom to have something like a horde mode. That would be a given, I thought.
Yeah, it seems like something that it would be pretty normal for them because it makes sense. Just trying to survive, just endless, demons and stuff like that, and getting special rewards for it and stuff like that too.
Yeah, especially like co-op. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a, like Alucard was saying, the soundtrack. Just the very beginning, the opening, where it kind of, there's all the distress calls for help on Earth, and then it, he, loads his shotgun, puts his helmet on, and then it just cuts to Doom with the heavy metal music. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm 2 minutes in. I'm ready to.
So that game, you could be over the top, and it's fine. You could just be like extreme bloodshed, and it works. You could be like ridiculous. It doesn't have to be realistic. Like that he's like almost immortal or whatever. It's because it just makes sense. You could have like guts flying around and like slipping on blood, and people would love it.
I love that it starts with just this voice giving you an intro, and then it just says rip and tear till nothing remains. It's like, setting the tone pretty early. I know what I'm in for here.
It'd be cool if they made it so gory that like your helmet gets covered in blood and you have to like wipe it off. That'd be so awesome. Just like ridiculous. And you're like slipping on blood and you're falling down, like just make it ridiculous. That's what I would do.
Can you imagine a Doom if you slipped on blood? You'd never get anywhere. You'd just be like slipping all the way down corridors and stuff.
funny. Oh, they definitely should do that for Evil Dead game. They should make that game
I
ridiculously.
cannot
gory.
wait for the Evil Dead game. I'm sad it's not coming to Game Pass. It's one of the ones that I haven't seen announced for Game Pass, but it's getting bought day one anyway. And I assume there'll be like an Ultimate Edition where I get a different skin for my fucking Bruce Campbell, and I'm gonna buy it because it's Evil Dead. And
No,
if it
same
plays
here.
anything like Dead by Daylight or the Friday the 13th game, I'm down because they're all stupidly fun. Honestly, if anyone else has got Friday the 13th game, we should have like a multiplayer on that because there's nothing.
I've never
Yeah,
played
it's
it.
great.
I've never
It's
played
great.
that.
Me and Fabio
Yeah.
did a game once, and whoever was playing Jason was rubbish. And I was stood on the other side of a sofa, and he kept chasing me around. And this went on for about 15 minutes, and I kept hitting him with like a stick and running away, and like hitting him from behind and running away. And he couldn't catch me. And then in the end, I died eventually because I got bored, so I started like chasing him further and stuff. But loads of people escaped because he spent all this game just running around a sofa chasing me, which isn't a really good way to advertise the game to people. But I was laughing my ass off on it. It's so funny.
Did you need the Benny Hill music playing? Did you?
I need to do that. I've got it saved somewhere. Speed it up a bit. Put that on. But it's such
I
a
remember Benny Hill.
it's honestly such a fun little game. If you like sort of like horror games, but play as the humans in a group of friends, because you all don't know where each other is at the beginning and stuff like that. And there's me. I was like, what does this do? And I went up and I switched this radio on in this house, and all sounds are blaring out. And I'm like, oh shit! And then Jason's just like there next 2 minutes, like 2 seconds later, just next to you. And you're like, oh crap, that's all gone wrong.
I don't know how they're gonna do Evil Dead, where it's like only one person could probably be Ash, so it's like
It includes
may
all
never be
the.
able-
It
you
includes.
may never be able to beat him though.
Yeah, but it plays. It's like Dead by Daylight where you can play as different characters. It's got all the people from like Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV
Yeah.
series and stuff. And there's also
Yeah.
enemies, so it looks a bit like Evil Dead, like 4v4 from what I could gather or something, where you can either play as the humans or the Deadites, like there's Evil Ash and stuff like that. So I need to see more. The trailer looked good, but didn't give a lot of information on it. But
Yeah.
to be fair though, maybe they'll do the different versions. They'll be like old Ash with like from Evil Dead 1, Ash in his like Kmart outfit, and it doesn't matter as long as you pick them. I don't mind. I don't mind if it breaks a bit of like canon and stuff. Just let us play as who we want. I hate when it limits
Yeah.
you to like one of each person when there's no need to it.
Yeah.
I do wonder if it'd be like the Friday the 13th game. They'll bring out like bikini pack like they did for that game, and it was swimwear, and it was like £5 to buy fucking bras and swimwear for your characters to run around in and be murdered. I mean,
Peace.
honestly, that's
Wow.
a right money making scheme, that isn't it? But yeah, that'll be
If
the
you-
October game to play for Halloween.
Yeah.
If you cut
I
her
still-
just right, did the bikini actually fall off?
Have you played the game? The people look like mannequins. They look like plastic. Like, oh no, they're coming. It's so bad. It's good. It's like
Yeah.
it just needed more money and development, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, you have such a laugh playing it. It's just not. There's like it bugs out sometimes. It looks like crap, but it's funny.
The characters look like someone's taken a hairdryer to a wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for them because they got the license and they were planning on introducing all the horror games kind of into there. And then they kind of just went, yeah, we're not doing that. You're not having the license anymore, which is when they did Dead by Daylight.
No, it's
instead.
different. It's different. The people that did Friday the 13th did Predator for the PS4,
Yeah.
which was awful. But they had the license for the game, and then there's been in the last couple of years there's been a power struggle over who actually owns the Friday the 13th movie licenses, and because that was going to court over it, they couldn't release any more content because technically they may not actually have the rights anymore. So they just decided to call it quits and said we're not doing any more updates. That's it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They've
It's
done
really good as
stability
well.
fixes and stuff, but they were going to do like a multi-monster sort of a monster mode, so there was more than one enemy and stuff like that. But it's a shame. But Dead by Daylight is much more like refined, and you get like you've got Silent Hill, you've got Stranger Things, Resident Evil, Ash from Evil Dead, Freddy Krueger, and Mike Myers
It's
is
not
in
as
it,
good.
Leatherface.
It's not
Mhm.
as good for me. It's a bit more too simplistic. It's like, oh, turn on so many
Generators.
generators and find a hatch.
Yeah. But it's still fun. I did like the fact that on the Friday the 13th, you could get in the car, you could go away, you could escape on a boat. If you die, you might come back as the random hero with the fucking shotgun and stuff like that. And there's different places to hide and stuff like that. I did like that. It's a really fun little game. But yeah, it's a shame they've killed it off. But yeah.
Yeah, since the last time we talked, State of Decay 2 got a huge update.
Oh yeah, it's the plague territories. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's really scary.
It's really changed the whole premise of the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Because like like you'll have like an area of the like a area and it's controlled by plague hearts, and you can't not claim outposts unless you clear out the plague hearts. And some areas are controlled by 5 plague hearts, so
Wow.
it's really tough. And then like there's like mist, like a red mist everywhere to make it kind of spooky.
Mm-hmm.
And they upgraded the outpost, so you can upgrade outposts like 3 or 4 levels, so you can get more out of them and everything. And they have sidearms now, so that's cool.
Nice.
So yeah.
That is one studio that has went above and beyond post-launch support. I mean, they're bar none. They're great.
Yeah, and they're working on a sequel as well at the same time as pumping all this content out. So
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the
I'm looking
perfect
forward to
game.
it.
It's still buggy in places. It's still a little janky, but it is fun in a group, and you can't
Yeah.
complain. If that's your type of game, if you like those sort of open world survival-y games and you like zombies, you're gonna love it. But it's just a shame that it launched in such a terrible state. But they've turned it around, like Sea of Thieves. It's such a turnaround, and you're getting so much content from. That's the other game. That and Sea of Thieves are getting so much content nowadays. It's absolutely fantastic. And you can see why people keep playing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is all going to change. Like when they start releasing more games, they're going to be in a better state now because they have more studios. They don't. Some games maybe were rushed out, and now I
Yeah.
think that's going to change now. So like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, they got like a bigger budget for everything, and that's why those games are so supported now because they're successful, and Microsoft is giving them money. And because they said State of
All the
Decay,
money.
they couldn't have updated it this much without Microsoft's help. So otherwise it would have been done a long time ago. So
Yep.
so things are going to change. So it's for a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
What's next, Ash?
That's it for the news this week. Before we go, though, we have got a competition. We've been chatting to the guys from Exitilon. I don't want to pronounce that wrong. They produce an absolute ton of. They port a lot of games onto Xbox and Windows 10. They all have semi-easy achievements. Is probably the best way to put it. But they've kindly sent us a copy to do a review of, which will be going up in the next couple of days. But to sort of celebrate that, I've grabbed another copy to give away as a code. And so what we're going to do, all you have to do is in the comments post winner chicken dinner. And I'm not going to choose it tonight because obviously I know a lot of people have sent me PMs going, can they enter later because there's football on. So we are going to draw this on next Saturday's show. So you've got all week to come onto the chat on the YouTube and put winner chicken dinner. And that's all you have to do, winner chicken dinner. And one of you lucky people will win the code for Xbox for Castle of No Escape 2. Now, this is a like top down. It plays like an old school sort of dungeon crawler game where you go room by room, floor by floor basically, and it's sort of semi-randomized and stuff like that. So I'll read what it is for those people that want to do it. It says, prepare yourself for the dangers of the cursed castle. Countless heroes have tried and failed to destroy the ancient spell that holds its walls. Meanwhile, hundreds of monsters are roaming inside, guarding the sword shards, the last known thing to be capable of defeating the demonic castle owner. thus shattering its magical structure. Although you are not alone, some help could be obtained from the merchants, who, for reasons not truly understood, offer their services right inside the lair of evil, though it seems to only be a matter of time for them to disappear. So explore a 6x6x6 equals 216 rooms of randomly generated hazards and enemies while collecting the necessary artifacts. Plan your next step carefully, because save points are a thing in a roguelike game. So it is like a roguelike dungeon explorer. There is, however, another option explained below. So there's a battle system. Every character is different. Try them all. So there's different classes you can play. There's PAL and NTSC modes. If the game feels too unforgiving, you can tone down the difficulty and lower the frame rate to 50 PAL. There's a password system to unlock stuff. Unfold the mystery, defeat mini-bosses to unlock more playable characters. So, and this was developed by the D.E.X, so Dex team, and it was published by Exitilion. And like I say, it's on Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. It is single player. But all you have to do is jump into the chat, either... Oh, Alucard's gone, but jump into the chat and just type in winner winner chicken dinner. And then on next week's episode, we will pick one of them. I'll write a list down before the show. We'll randomize it, and you will get the chance to win this, basically. And all you have to do is give us a follow on YouTube, and I will send you the code, and you can just install it. And it's a worldwide code, so it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, US, anywhere. It's a worldwide code as well, and that's absolutely free. And honestly, it's not a bad game. It definitely plays. It reminds me of like playing like old school sort of like Spectrum-y, those sort of games, like the top down, going through all the different rooms, like the dungeons and stuff like that. But it does have 3,000 gamer score right now. It is getting an update very soon to make it 4,000 gamer score as well. So you're looking at probably getting like 4,000 G in like an hour to 2 hours, depending on how you play it and how it randomizes and stuff like that. So if there's any achievement hunters out there, it's a free game. All you literally have to do is join us on here in the comments saying winner winner chicken dinner, and then join us next Saturday in the show when we announce the winner and actually answer your messages. And then if you don't answer, we'll go on to whoever else has put it, basically. But that's it. Like I say, we'll have a full review and sort of video and a bit more in depth for the game in the next week on the YouTube channel. Next week, I don't believe you're with us, are you, Gina, next week?
Well, we've got a guest on, so no. I
No.
have this curse where every time there's a guest, I'm away. So it happens again.
So we're going to be...
DMs, managed to talk him up into it as well.
So we've got Garrett Atkins coming on, who is part of the GPN. That's just been announced. It's an independent Xbox-centric media brand. And they also runs that Game Pass Counter website. So he'll be joining us next week to talk about Game Pass, Xbox games, all that sort of stuff. We're going to have another giveaway. Not only are we giving away this game over the coming week, we've also got 2 copies of the Xbox version of Monster Prom as well. And yeah, that's it. I mean, are you here next week, Bob, or are you at work?
I'm at work. Yeah.
So we'll be a bit lighter next week in normal members, but we will have a special guest to make up for it. So hopefully we can see you there, and we'll be back next week at 8 PM. Have you guys got anything to add before we go that I may have missed or forgot to mention, or anything like that?
Sea of Thieves Twitch drops.
Sea of Thieves Twitch drops, yeah, for the next couple of days. Jump on Twitch, watch some Sea of Thieves streamers. You get a nice, cool ship skin set. I think I missed the first one. It was yesterday, wasn't it? So
me too. Yeah. It was the Phoenix figurehead.
I think I've got that already though, so I'm not too fussed. But you have to watch Sea of Thieves streamers for 20 minutes, and you'll get the drops basically.
I don't think that one's available any other way. I think because it's a different variation of the Phoenix one.
Right.
Because the one that I have is the flame one. This one is like more. It looks like a royal, like a king, like one fit for a king, all decorated and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. Today was just an emote for like one of the emotes for like one of the instruments, just showing it off.
That's all right then. I've not missed anything major then.
Yeah, and then tomorrow is the actual hull, and then I think on Monday it's the wheel for that same ship set.
Yeah,
The Phoenix-
that's
the
correct.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's the hull tomorrow, hurdy-gurdy show off today, and then the Gilded Phoenix
Mhm.
wheel the day after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so if no one else has got anything, we'll call it a day. Thank you very much to everyone watching. We'll see you next week. We may have some more special guests in the future. That's the plan anyway. We want to get more guests on in the future, like one-off ones. Hopefully one when Jinna is actually available. He's just got to... they've all got clauses, I've told you this, mate. It's a weird specification. Like, I only want to be on when that dick isn't here. I'm like, fine, if that's what we've
Damn.
got to do.
Teasing.
We've got to keep the guests happy,
Fabio's
mate.
not here this week.
So maybe this week you're the special guest.
That's it, yeah. You hear that a little, you're now the special guest.
Yeah, bollocks.
But that's it. Remember, share the channel as much as you can. We really want to get as many people watching as possible. Post in the comments, winner chicken dinner to be in for a chance of winning. We're going to draw it next Saturday, which is the 10th of July. We'll start at 8 p.m. BST. We'll draw it first thing on the show before we get into what we've been playing and stuff like that, so it doesn't get mixed in with anything later on in the show with the special guests and the other giveaways. And that's it for now. Big thank you to you guys for joining us. Big congratulations to Fabio's girlfriend for another year of having a birthday and taking him away from us. And enjoy
One more
gaming,
lap of the
everyone.
sun
Have a good weekend. And whoever's in the US, happy 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.
done. I will see what we